This is a question I hear a lot, that Christianity is the only way to get to heaven. Of course, they don't bother trying to prove that heaven actually exists, because when it gets right down to it, Christianity, and indeed all religion, they're just a scam designed to separate the gullible from their hard-earned money and time. And this time out, our friends over at Stand to Reason ask if Christianity is the only way. And to be honest, it's not even a way at all, unless you're looking for a way to lose all credibility. But is it though? Because that's really what this whole video is about, that Christianity is the only way to achieve some kind of salvation. But honestly, I'm getting started a little early because I don't know that Christianity is really all that worth talking about, at least not seriously, because it provides no actual evidence that the claims made by Christianity are actually true, and therefore, is it really any better than, say, talking about flat earthism or flying spaghetti monsterism or whatever? It's an interesting question to consider.
Is Christianity the only way?
The only way to what? Because in order for you to say that Christianity is the only way to do something, you have to prove that it achieves demonstrable results. Anybody think he's going to do that? No, me neither.
Well, Jesus and his disciples certainly thought so. Jesus said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me."
If you buy into the mythology, sure. But there's no good evidence that Jesus ever existed at all outside of unsupported claims made in the Bible. So saying that Jesus made particular statements means about as much to me as arguing that Voldemort said something in the Harry Potter books, therefore it must be so.
Jesus explicitly says that he is the way, not a way.
Well, assuming that Jesus said anything at all, so what? All of this rests on the blind faith belief that what Jesus said has any meaning in the real world. Now, if you want anyone to take you seriously, you've got to back this up with objective evidence. Got any?
In fact, no one gets to God except through him.
And that assumes God exists in the first place. Now, yes, I know I'm really sticking it to this guy's claims, but this is how rational people operate. We don't take your word for it. We want you to prove that what you have to say is actually so. And let's be honest, Christians are really, really, really bad at that.
When facing the same ruling body that crucified Christ, Peter's own confession is equally exclusive. He says, "And there is salvation in no one else, for there is no other name under heaven that has been given among men by which we must be saved."
Proof? Evidence? Anything? Bueller? Bueller?
Now let me make an observation at this point. The claim that Christianity is the only way rubs a lot of people the wrong way.
I'll also make an observation at this point. The claim that Christianity is even a worthwhile way rubs a lot of people the wrong way. People who care about the facts and who are not at all interested in religious fantasy. And I'm one of those people. So what are you going to do about it? All right, you're just going to keep spouting your unsupported arguments aimed at the religiously gullible.
I think that stems from a misunderstanding of the kind of claim that it is.
An irrational one?
Many people treat religious claims like preference claims.
No. A preference claim doesn't argue that something is factually true for everyone in the real world. If I say I like strawberry ice cream, that doesn't assert that strawberry ice cream is the only ice cream out there, that everyone has to like strawberry ice cream. I'm making a subjective claim that affects me and no one else, and that's not what Christianity does.
In the same way some people prefer chocolate ice cream to vanilla ice cream, some people prefer Christianity over some other religion.
You know, I know a lot of people don't believe that I just don't watch these videos first, but honestly, I had no idea he was going to talk about ice cream when I wrote that previous bit. I guess I'm just psychic.
On this ice cream view of religion, it doesn't make any sense to say that Christianity is the one true religion.
Because it's not. But that said, religion is, in a lot of ways, preference-based. You usually pick the religion that you get indoctrinated with, and then you remain with it so long as you are convinced that it's true. If something else appeals to you more, if you can be convinced that it's reasonable to believe it, you can change religions anytime you want.
In the same way, it wouldn't make sense to say that chocolate ice cream is the one true flavor of ice cream. But religion isn't like ice cream, it's more like insulin. When it comes to type 1 juvenile diabetes, it doesn't matter if you like it or not. The truth of the matter is that insulin controls diabetes. There is a correspondence to reality.
One that you're completely unable to demonstrate, as we all well know. Because that's the thing. You claim that it has a correspondence to reality, but that claim is totally unsubstantiated. You can't show that your religious beliefs actually have anything to do with reality. Just believing a thing does not make that thing true.
There's a reason why Jesus and his disciples claimed he was the only way.
Again, assuming that any of that actually happened in reality, which of course you've totally failed to demonstrate. Faith doesn't make fact.
He's the only person to deal with our sin.
Says who? Where did you get that idea outside of blind and totally unsupported faith? I don't care what you say. I care what you can prove. Get to work.
What do I mean? Well, we're all sinners. And that's not a put down. I'm just being descriptive. We're all guilty of breaking God's perfect moral law.
God, which you can't prove exists, and a moral law that you can't demonstrate is valid. Gotcha. No wonder you guys always disable comments. You'd get absolutely crucified if anyone could respond to you.
We can't even live up to our own standards, much less than the standards of a holy God. And guilty people deserve to be punished.
So why do you believe that Jesus, who you claim wasn't guilty of anything, got murdered for our sins? How exactly does that work?
That's the bad news. The good news is that those who put their trust in Jesus Christ, God's only provision of salvation, will be saved.
Which, again, makes no sense. Because if Jesus died for the sins of mankind, why does it matter who we trust? And what about the people in the Old Testament who lived before Jesus? Obviously, they had no trust in Jesus. So are they all burning for all eternity in hell? Interesting how the religious don't talk about that, isn't it?
Through his death on the cross, Jesus purchased a pardon for anyone who believes in him. With it, we're rescued. Without it, we stand alone.
So, God only cares about people in his fan club and purposely condemns everyone else to eternal perdition. That's some God you've got there. He's a complete and total dick.
Anyone trusting in their own merits will be judged by those merits and found wanting. Anyone trusting in the merits of Christ, the sinless one, will be judged by the merits of Christ and will find favor.
That still makes no sense whatsoever. You got an innocent man murdered so that guilty people can go free. That's despicable. But let's be honest. God sacrificed himself to appease his own anger over rules he made, knowing full well that people would not be able to live up to them when he could have just had realistic expectations in the first place. Once again, your God's a dick.
So Christianity is absolutely unique in what it claims.
That doesn't make it true. I mean, Scientology is absolutely unique in what it claims too. It's still a load of nonsense.
No other religion or religious leader has dealt with the reality of human sin.
No other religion or religious leader has dealt with the reality of Thetans like Scientology has. Of course, the whole idea is bullshit, just like the idea of sin is. But hey, we can spin it any way we want, right?
Only Jesus did that. Now, just because Christianity teaches that it's an exclusive religion doesn't mean it's not also inclusive. Well, what do I mean by that? It's exclusive in that it teaches that Jesus is the only way, but it's also inclusive in that it's a genuine offer of salvation to everyone who believes.
But it's an offer of a cure to a disease that doesn't actually exist. And that's the whole issue with not only Christianity, but all religion. They make up a disease, and then they offer to sell you the cure if you would just kiss their asses and give them your time and money. It's a scam. But it's a scam that appeals to people's base emotions, and therefore it's a very popular scam, the ultimate pyramid scheme. But at the top of the pyramid isn't some imaginary god in the sky. It's the church, which benefits from all the money and political power showered on it by adherents, and those adherents don't even recognize what's going on. Living your life purely emotionally is harmful. It allows you to get abused by those who will tell you lies to your face and have their hand out for your time and money. So no, Christianity is not a worthwhile way to live your life. It's just a scam designed to take your time, your money, and your intellectual integrity away from you, and far too many people fall for it. Shame on you!
Everything changes.